Hey, shalom. Welcome back. So we are again continuing with our Judges Listen and Learn directed Hebrew immersion. So this is what we do usually on Mondays now. This is for those of you who are either commuting or I have to say in the American sense or in the Filipino sense, because in Philippines commuting means like not driving your own car, right? You're taking some kind of public transportation or something. Or in the American sense, where it doesn't matter. You could be driving your own car, you could be on a bus, on a train. It's all commuting. Flying in a helicopter, I guess. um, or if you're just an auditory learner, or perhaps that's your secondary learning style. Sometimes people, they are visual learners, which is what most of our immersion is all about with the bright colors and everything. And then their secondary learning style might be auditory. So this is to help you expand your immersion into biblical Hebrew in another way, right? So I hope this will help you guys if you haven't done it before. So if you like, you can close your eyes. I won't be colorizing the screen. You're not missing anything if you don't see what I'm doing on the screen. Or you can, if you have a favorite Hebrew Bible, you could crack that open and look at your Hebrew Bible. Or if you happen to have a scroll of Shoftim, you could roll that out. That's pretty cool. You know, there's something about reading from the scrolls. I remember when I was in Jerusalem one time, one of the guys that kind of does stuff inside, there's a little cave there, like to the left of the Wailing Wall in the men's area. And this guy just comes out and he says, "Hey, did you read Tehillim today yet?" I said, "No." And he said, "You want to do your verses for today?" I said, "Okay, let's go." So basically, based on your name, verses are selected from Psalm 119 for each letter of your name, right? And you read, so for me, Yirmiyah or Yirmiyahu, you start with the Yod, and so there's 8 verses, right, from the Yod pericope. So mine's longer than other people's. Like if your name's just Moshe, it's a short thing. But they had a scroll. They had a Psalm scroll. Those are not easy to come by. And it was like in this acrylic box with the Eitz Chaim sticking out so you could turn it, but the actual scroll itself is protected. It was so cool. So cool. That was really quite a blessing. So neat. Like they just came out and asked me if I want to do that. So Baruch Hashem, next time you're in Jerusalem, maybe check out that cave and check out the scroll of Psalms they have. Maybe they'll let you read for your Hebrew name. Okay. And if you don't have a Hebrew name and you want one, if you are a Torah keeper and you have the testimony of Yeshua HaMashiach, then approach me about it, and we can get you set up. We can get you a Hebrew name. Yeah, if you are a son or daughter of Israel, native born or grafted in, it's highly appropriate to have a Hebrew name. All right, let's look at this again. I'm just going to be reading it, and we will repeat things. Right, so you try. You can read along if you like, but I recommend trying to just listen and trying to recognize the words as you hear them. All right? This is First Judges, verse 27. Velo horiysh, velo horiysh, Menasseh. Velo horiysh, Menasseh. Menasseh. Menasseh, that's a name. Velo, but did not horiysh. It's from the verb yarash. It's in a Hifil. Can you hear the horiysh? But did not possess. Menasseh. Did not cause to possess, really. Menasseh. Et Beth Sha'an. Beth Sha'an. Velo, but not horiysh Menasseh. But Menasseh did not cause to possess. Et, we don't translate, Beth Sha'an. So that's a place name. The house of Sha'an. Beth Sha'an. ve'et, ve'et, nor, so that's the DDO, the definite direct object marker with a ve in front of it, nor benoteyha, as we would read it, benoteyha, benoteyha. So what's that word, benoteyha? It's benot, which is the plural of bat. So bat is a daughter, and benot are daughters. Nor the benoteyha, the daughters of her, nor her daughters. What's that? The daughters of Beshan. Beshan. So what does that mean? Well, in biblical Hebrew, the daughters of a city are the suburbs, or the little villages that surround it, that are kind of like part of the economic unit of that area. Okay? In a similar manner, poetically, the prophets will refer to Bat Yehuda, Bat or Bath, Bat Yehuda, the daughter of Judah. You know who that is? The daughter of Judah is Jerusalem. That's a poetic reference to Jerusalem. And then her daughters will be all the surrounding areas, right? All right. Again, velo horiysh Menasseh et Beth-Sha'an ve'et benoteyha. But Manasseh did not dispossess or did not cause to inherit, cause to possess Beth-Sha'an ve'et benoteyha and her daughters, her suburbs, her surrounding villages. Ve'et nor Ta'anach. Ta'anach. Don't confuse this with Tanakh. It's not saying you didn't get the Tanakh. There's an I in here. Do you hear it? Ta'a, ta'a, ta'anach. It's Tav, Ayin, Nun, Kaf. That's a place. Ve'et, nor benoteyha, nor her daughters. Ve'et, nor yoshevey dhol. So it's spelled dol, but that ancient Dalit was a vocalized th, and it's a place name, so I like to say it. Yoshevey is a construct form from the verb yashav. Yashav. Yashav is to sit or to dwell. A yoshev is someone who is sitting or dwelling. And you will see this in Hebrew poetry when it's about Hashem as a pregnant expression. Yoshev by itself can mean he who sits enthroned, even though there's no mention of al hakisei, like on the throne or something. Yoshev, when it's about God, it's almost like a divine epithet. The one who sits enthroned, right? It even implies hayoshev. So the plural would be yoshevim, yoshevim, sitters, right? Or dwellers. We drop the mem, yoshevey, dwellers of, dhol, or dol, the dwellers of Dor, or the dwellers of Thor, which is kind of a funny name if you know Jewish Aramaic, because in Jewish Aramaic, Dor, the root Dalet Vav has to do with dwelling, like like yeah, like a place of dwelling or to dwell somewhere. So it's kind of strange, like the dwellers of dwelling. I mean, again, that's not Hebrew, so no problem, but it's just kind of interesting. Ve'et yoshevey Dol or Dol, nor the dwellers of Dol. Okay. So far we have from verse 27, Velo horiysh Menasseh et Beth-Sha'an. But Manasseh did not dispossess or cause to possess Beth-Sha'an, ve'et benoteyha, or its daughters, ve'et ta'anach, ve'et benoteyha, ve'et yoshevey dhol, or yoshevey dol, ve'et benoteyha, ve'et yoshevey yivle'am, nor the yoshevey, the inhabitants of Ibleam. And the reason we're saying the is because the last word is a name, right? And so when you have a construct, something of something else, when the last word is a name, we're going to usually say the on those previous construct words. So we had yoshevey thol, the inhabitants of thol, and we have yoshevey Ibleam, the inhabitants of Ibleam, which is kind of funny name. It's like he swallows them or he swallowed them. Blah, blah. Beit lamed ayin is to swallow. This word is used in when it warns the Levites. Don't take a chance, man. Don't even look. Don't look towards the Ark of the Covenant when it's inside the Devia. Don't even turn your head there in the time that it takes to blah, to swallow, like some spittle, because you could die. So kind of interesting. Gezerah Shava there, kind of. So if it was Yivle'am, right, the mem would be them. He swallows them, or he swallowed them, or he will swallow them. Ve'et benoteyha, nor its daughters, its suburbs. Ve'et yoshevey Megiddo, nor the inhabitants of Megiddo. Ve'et benoteyha, nor her daughters. Vayoel hakinaani lashevet. Pardon me, lashevet. I expected that to be in pausal. Lashevet becomes lashavet when you hit it hard like I did. That was accidental. Ba'aretz hazot. Vayoel. So Ya'al, Yod, Aleph, Lamed is the verb that we're dealing with here. Ya'al. Ya'al. This means like to persist, to continue. This is a Hifil version of it, but it's like to be keen on doing something. So they were keen on it. They persisted, vayoel, but persisted. Who? Ha-Kinaani, the Canaanite. Vayoel, Ha-Kinaani. What did the Canaanite persist on doing, or what were they keen on doing? Lashevet ba'aretz hazot. Lashevet. Lashevet is again from the verb yashav. Oftentimes that yod will disappear. This is the infinitive construct form with a lamed on it. Just like in English, we say to do, to jump, to run, to sit, to dwell. Also, you can in Hebrew. Lamed is to shevet, to dwell. Vayoel hakinaani. But the Canaanite was keen on or persisted to dwell. Ba'aretz hazot. Ba. In the Eretz becomes aretz, ba'aretz, in the land, the zot, the this one. Vayoel haknaani lashevet, ba'aretz hazot. But the Canaanite was keen or persisted to dwell, to live in this land, in the land of this one. Verse 28. Vayihyu ki chazak Yisrael. Vayihyu ki chazak Yisrael. Vayihyu. So this is oftentimes you'll hear this form introducing a narrative or something. Vayihyu, and it was, or and it came to pass. Yehi means it will be. It's from the verb haya. Vayihyu means and it was. So and it was vayihyu ki. That's kaf yod ki. That. By the way, a great thing that you could do when I'm reading these, if you can say it before I say it, or think it before I say it, this will be really good for locking and stuff and increasing your auditory listening to biblical Hebrew. Vayhi ki chazak. And it was that chazak, chet, zayin, kof. Just like we say at the end of a book of the Torah, chazak, chazak, vayitchazek, actually vayitchazek, sorry. And he will be strengthened. We will be strengthened. Be strong, and we will be strengthened. Chazak, chazak, v'nitchazek. Really, it's like we'll strengthen ourselves. The idea is through reading Torah. Vayhi ki chazak Yisrael. And it was that Israel was chazak, strong. Vayasim, vayasim. This is the verb seem. Seen, yod mem, and the yod has disappeared. Yasim. Yasim is he will place or he will set. But the vav changes the aspect. So yasim, he will set vayasim, and he set or assigned. Sorry, I had my eyes closed. I lost my place. Just a sec. Vayasim et hakinaani, the Canaanites, lamas. He sent them to mass, to Catholic mass. Oh, I got a good mnemonic for you. So mas, mem, samech, mas, mem, samech. This is forced labor, like forced servitude. Okay? Lamas, la, the lamed is to, is the mas, to the forced labor, to the, some interpret it as labor projects, right? Like not exactly slavery, perhaps, but like just until a project is completed, right? So here's the mnemonic. You could think of going to Roman Catholic or Eastern Orthodox Mass as slave labor, as forced labor. Oh no, you don't want to go to Mass. Vayasim. This is about Israel. Vayasim. And, or so he set, et Hakinaani, the Canaanite, lamas, to mass, to hard labor, to forced labor, usually of a particular project. Vayhi, repeating, Vayhi, ki chazak Yisrael, vayasam et hakinaani lamas. So it was that Israel was strong. So vayasam. So he set et hakinaani, the Canaanites, lamas, to hard labor. Vehoreish, vehoreish. That's again from Yarash, the Hifil, and or but dispossessing, like lo horiysho, vehoreish, lo horiysho, but dispossessing, not he dispossessed. Oh, him. He didn't dispossess him. Didn't remove them from the land. Now, that first word, I've talked about this before. When you hear a verb repeated like that, usually what's happening is one form is the infinitive absolute. Okay? And if that comes first syntactically, then usually it has the meaning of indeed. So vehoreish is a hifil infinitive absolute of the verbal stem yarach. So indeed not. So vehoreish lo, but indeed not horiysho, but indeed he did not horiysho dispossess him, meaning Hakinaani, the Canaanite. So in English, we'd have to say them to make it make sense. And then there's a satum, and that's the end of that section. Okay. So let's start with verse 27 again, and let's see how you do this time. Velo horiysh Menasseh et Beth Sha'an. But Menasseh did not dispossess velo horiysh Menasseh et Beth Sha'an, that place. Ve'et benoteyha, nor her daughters. Ve'et ta'annach, ve'et benoteyha, ve'et yoshevey Zol, nor the inhabitants of Zol. Ve'et benoteyha, Ve'et yoshevey Ibleam, nor the inhabitants of Ibleam. Ve'et benoteyha, ve'et yoshevey Megiddo, nor the inhabitants of Megiddo. Ve'et benoteyha, vayoel hakinaani lashevet ba'aretz hazot. Vayoel hakinaani, and the Canaanite persisted, lashevet, to dwell, ba'aretz hazot, in this land, literally in the land, hazot, this one. Verse 28 said, vayhi ki chazak Yisrael, and it was because Israel was chazak. Vayhi ki, because chazak Yisrael, vayasim et hakinaani lamas. Vayasim, that he set et hakinaani, the Canaanite, lamas, to mass, to hard labor, to forced labor. Vehoreish lo horiysho, vehoreish, but indeed lo, not horiysho. He didn't dispossess him. It's funny, that almost sounds like a Russian word. Horosho, horiysho. And then we have a satum marking some white space ending. I'm not really sure how we're doing on time, but I think I'll do at least another verse. Verse 29. Ve'Ephraim lo horiysh et hakenaani hayoshev begazer. Again. Ve'Ephraim, and Ephraim lo, did not, horiysh, dispossess, et hakenaani, the Canaanite, hayoshev. So hayoshev, we still have the active participle from yashav, to dwell, yoshev, the one dwelling. When you have a ha in biblical Hebrew in front of a participle, that oftentimes means asher, like who. So hayoshev is the one who dwells. Hayoshev, the one dwelling, begazer, begazer, in gazer. Again, the Ephraim lo horiysh et hakenaani hayoshev begazer, the one living, hayoshev begazer, in gazer. Vayeshiv hakenaani bekirebo begazer. Again, vayeshiv. Yeshiv is he will yashav, he will dwell, or he is dwelling, but that vav changes the aspect. So instead of he will dwell, it means he dwelled. Vayeshiv, and so dwelled Hakinaani, the Canaanite, bekirebo, bekirebo. Be is in the kerev of o. Kerev changes the spelling when we put a suffix, when it goes to construct form. That's why it's not bekerevo, like you'd expect, but it's bekirbo. Okay? Be, in the kerev, the midst of o, of him. Begazer, begazer, at or in gazer. Vayeshiv hakinaani bekirbo begazer. So the Canaanite lived in his midst at Gazer. And then we have a pei marking a lot of white space in the scroll. So verse 29 again, listen and you try to understand it. I'm not going to translate it this time. The Ephraim lo horiysh et hakinaani hayoshev begazer. Vayeshiv hakinaani bekirebo begazer. Sad. All right, I think I'll read those. 2, 3. One of those verses was kind of long. I'm not sure how long the recording is so far. I mean, how long we've. Hmm. I don't know why it doesn't show me anymore. My tool used to show me that. Hold on. I will do one more verse. Verse 30. And then we'll be done. Zevulun, Zevulun, lo horiysh. Zevulun, lo horiysh. Et yoshevey kitron. Zevulun, lo horiysh. Et yoshevey kitron. Zebulon, lo, not, horiysh, dispossessed, et yoshevey, right? So that's from yoshevim, the dwellers, and it becomes yoshevey, the dwellers of kitron. That's a place. Ve'et yoshevey nahalol, nor the yoshevey, the dwellers of nahalol. Vayishiv hakina'ani bekirebo. Vayishiv. So dwelled hakina'ani, the Canaanite, be, in, kirb, midst of, oh, bekirebo. Vayihyu, lamas. Vayihyu, lamas. So this is from Haya. Yihyu means they will be, or they will be. They will be. But Master Yoda, I'm not afraid. Oh, you will be. Yeah, will be. Yihyu is they will be. Vayihyu means and they were. That vav changes it. And they were for the mas. They were for mass. Or you have a Hebrew idiom when we have haya plus lamed. Sometimes it means became. So they became mas. They became a forced labor force. So let's do verse 30 again. Zebulun lo horiysh. Zebulun lo horiysh. Zebulun did not dispossess et yoshevey kitron, the inhabitants of Kitron. Ve'et yoshevey nahalol, nor the inhabitants of Nahalol. Vayeshiv hakina'ani bekirebo. So the Canaanite lived in his midst. Vayihyu lamas. Vayihyu lamas. And they became mas. Or, and they were for the mas, the going to the church service. Nope, the forced labor. And then we have his satum marking again white space. So I think that's good for today. So what I will do, I know I put up on the screen a bit more than this, but I think this is a good bite size. I would prefer go through it again and really try to understand it. Okay? I'm only going to read the Hebrew this time, starting with verse 27. This is Judges chapter 1, verse 27. Velo horiysh Menasseh et Beth She'an ve'et benoteyha ve'et ta'anach ve'et benoteyha ve'et yoshevey vo ve'et benoteyha ve'et yoshevey Ibleam ve'et benoteyha ve'et yoshevey Megiddo ve'et benoteyha vayoel hakina'ani lashevet ba'aretz hazot. Verse 28. Vayhi ki chazak Yisrael vayasim et hakina'ani lamas vehoreish lo horiysho. Verse 29. ואפרים לא הוריש את הכנעני hayoshev בגזר, vayeshiv הכנעני bekirebo בגזר. Verse 30. זבולון לא הוריש את yoshevey כתרון ואת yoshevey נחלול, vayeshiv הכנעני bekirebo vayihyu lamas. All right, guys, I hope this Hebrew Listen and Learn has helped you to grow, to expand your grip on biblical Hebrew, to help your neshama, to feed your spirit. As always, if you'd like to join us and support this ministry, please consider my Patreon. The link is on the screen, patreon.com/Hebrew Literacy. Or you could check out my book over there, my personal translation of Genesis with a running commentary, if you're interested. Or you can join us over on Telegram at https://telegram.me/Hebrew Literacy. May you be blessed always in your studying of Lashon HaKodesh. I'm so glad to have you all here. Be well.